YouTubes.
Then I'm gonna tweet now. Okay. Cool. I love that we took so many pictures recently so that we could use
more.
it. Yeah, so that we can use it to promote the podcast.
Love it.
Because, you know, I've been terrible about that.
Yeah. We'll be better. We will be better.
Okay, cool. Also, it's like 80 degrees in this room, and my body is not happy with it.
Oh no.
Only because there's no airflow in here, and I honestly think there's something wrong with my AC.
Do you have a fan?
I don't want to put a fan in here, especially because of the podcast. You would hear it.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But like, there is an air vent, and I do not hear anything coming from the air vent, so it's very sussy.
Oh yeah,
I think there's just something wrong.
Hire a dude to look at that.
Yeah, I think it's just like a problem with the way that this like whole entire thing was built. I think they like messed up the like every building has the same complaint that the bottom floor doesn't get any ventilation.
Any circulation.
In the winter it's freezing, in the summer it's like scorching.
That's not good.
Yeah, I know. It's
that needs
so
to be
stupid.
looked at.
I know. Yeah. Hello, Leon. Hello, Kate.
Hi, Kate. Hello.
How you guys doing? Welcome back. It's been a while since we last.
It has. I'm still like in vacation mode a little bit. Not gonna lie.
Same. I was so much into vacation mode that you texted me. I was like, wait, what?
I know. I was like putting on makeup, and then I was like, oh, I should probably remind Stella like 15 minutes before. So I'm like, hey, ready whenever you are. And she's like, oh yeah.
I literally, that was the fastest I ever did my makeup. Like I finished my makeup in less than 15 minutes, like maybe 10 minutes.
Amazing. Yeah. Oh, we missed you too. Oh my god. Yeah, it's been we took, I mean, because of AX and then because of like my cruise, like just we've been missing random weeks, but we've also recorded like 2 episodes beforehand, so nothing should be.
We're actually 2 episodes ahead of schedule, so like we're good. Okay. Yeah, we have
something random, an emergency happens in the future.
Yes, we have a slight buffer, not a great buffer, but it's just a slight buffer, which is good.
It's still good.
Yeah. Okay, let me find my. Okay, we're already recording, which is good because we don't want to forget.
Okay, good. Wait, did the one that we recorded at your house, did that go okay?
Totally fine.
Okay, I was
totally
like,
fine.
what's going on with this website?
Yeah, dude, ever since I started paying for premium Zencaster, it's been so sussy.
They're like, actually, we don't want your money.
Oh my god. But okay, cool. I am ready to go. You ready?
Yeah, let me get some water.
Okay.
I feel like I haven't talked in a long time.
All right, so time to use all of your...
I know. All right, your turn.
Welcome to BLHQ. I'm Stella Chu.
And I'm Jenny Belly.
We're 2 big danmei fans, and this is season 2 of our weekly podcast where we talk about Scum Villain's self-saving system written by MXTX. We'll be deep diving into each chapter, discussing the story and our overall impressions. Beware, fangirling ahead.
In a recap of last week's episode, Shen Qingqiu and Sheng Qinghua go to Bailu Forest to get a special mushroom that will help them avoid death. There, they run into Gong Yixiao and a snake monster. Gong Yixiao is impressed by Shen Qingqiu's mercy towards the snake monster and also sympathetic when he sees how much Shen Qingqiu misses Luo Binghe. Then, 3 years pass. Yue Qingyuan holds an emergency meeting because the city of Jinlan has been infected by a plague. The other 3 sects sent disciples to investigate, but they never returned. Lu Qingge, Mu Qingfan, and Shen Qingqiu volunteer to help, but inside the city, Shen Qingqiu discovers that Luo Binghe has returned from the abyss 2 years early.
Yeah, it's a very fast like time skip that happened. All of a sudden, bam, we meet the protagonist.
3 years later. Yeah. Oh.
And he's tall, dark, and handsome now.
He's
Ooh.
ominous. Yeah. Before, when Lo Binghe was in disciple form, he always wear white robes and stuff, like pure lotus. And now he only wears black and
Yeah.
like dark clothes.
And
So
his
difference.
shoulders are super broad.
Yeah, he became big in 3 years. I mean, he's literally been put in a pit of demons. So like, I mean, yeah.
Chapter 6, Jinlan, Part 2. So this is Part 2 of our Chapter 6 coverage. Last week we covered the first half. This is the second half. Senjin Cho returns to the weapon shops, but he hears screaming and arguing inside. This is actually all Lu Qingge's fault. He was tasked to return with patients for Mu Qingfang to examine, but Lu Qingge is impatient and approaches every problem with force. He simply grabbed whoever he saw, kidnapping them and tying them inside the weapon shop so that Mu Qingfang could do his research. A big
Dude.
group of burly men are screaming and wailing inside. Senjincho goes in to report about the sower, but hides that he's been infected. Senjincho has an extensive knowledge of sowers, so he knows that a single sower can only infect around 300 people. Since the entire city has been infected, there has to be more than one.
I love that Luchinga just is like, yeah, you need people? I'll get you people.
It doesn't
No
matter if
big
they're
deal.
infected. Oh, look, they're all strong men. We're just going to go for
We're
those
fine.
guys. Not, the weak and
No,
female
no, none of the
children,
children
nothing.
or the women. Just only the biggest, burliest dudes you can find. Luchinga immediately stands with his sword, since he's the type of person to act first and think later. Shenqingqiu stops him and says, "Slow down. I still have something else to say. Luo Binghe is back." Luchinga frowns. Luchinga frowns, asking, "Didn't he die at the hands of demons?" Shenqingqiu hesitates and says, "He didn't die. He came back alive. It's a long story. Let's patrol the city first. I'll explain this in detail when we get back." But as they're about to leave, Shenqingqiu's without a cure poison suddenly flares up and he loses all his spiritual powers. Luchinga pushes him into a chair and tells him to stay and wait. Don't be a hindrance. Muqingfan also thinks that Muqing Mu- Blah. Muqingfan also asks if Shenqingqiu has taken his medication on time.
What the hell? Yes, he took his medicine on time. Luchinka has been helping circulate his meridians on time too. He's not so weak that he has to stay inside. Why did his poison randomly flare up anyway? It's like lightning on a clear day. Just then the system notification just then the system notifies protagonist satisfaction points plus 100. Senshincho is baffled. What is it saying? Does the protagonist feel satisfied since Senshincho is suffering? Muqingfan insists that Senshincho stay inside and not exert himself, lecturing him like a child. And it's like they're all treating him like some kind of just a weak girl. Oh, you're
Yeah.
on your period. You're sick. You need to
You
sit
should
down.
stay behind. Yeah.
Yeah, here's some medicine. Did you take your Midol? Like that's what it feels.
Yeah,
like.
they're like, have you taken your medicine on time? Like, did you forget to take your medicine? Like, they're like totally belittling him.
What is LQF? Who's LQF again?
Oh, Luching. Oh, it should be Luchinga. I don't know. Sorry, that should be a G, and it became an F.
Let me fix this one too.
Luchinga. There we go.
Okay. Let me write this one out. Boop.
Okay.
Boop. Luchinga. Okay. Senshincho tries to stand up 3 times, but each time Luchinga pushes him back down into the chair. In the end, Senshincho is forced to stay while Luchinga goes to look for sowers. He tells him that the sowers have red skin and are highly infectious, so he mustn't get too close.
Yeah, I love how Wuching Fan and Luchinga just like don't take Cho seriously at all. Like so sad.
Just doting on him, like
I know.
it's
They're like
really
ultra
cute.
worried.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just like, we don't want him to get hurt. He has to stay behind. Yeah, but he is also like infected by the sowers. Like he has the plague and he's like hiding it from everyone, which is really stupid. Yeah.
Yep.
When Luchinga and Wuching Fan leave, Wu Chen says that it is extremely strange that the demon realm, which has been quiet for so long, is suddenly becoming active. And remember, Wu Chen is from the monk sect, and he was brought in to like figure out what was going on. But then he got hit with the plague, and his like legs are cut off. So he's just like stuck in bed in the weapons shop this entire time. He says that so many rare creatures have been appearing ever since the Immortal Alliance conference. Surely this is a bad omen? Shen Qingqiu thinks that, on top of that, Lobing has broken out of the Endless Abyss 2 years early. That's absolutely a bad fucking omen. After Wu Chen falls asleep, Shen Qingqiu goes to his room on the second floor of the shop, but he's too restless to sleep, so he sits at the table lost in thought. Time passes, and suddenly there is a knock on the door.
Not to mention that he breaks out of the abyss 2 years early, but it's actually 3 years early because he spent 1 year just chilling with Huanghua Palace.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, for 2 years he left, and then he became the head of Huanhua Palace, like infiltrating everyone and like brainwashing them, and now he suddenly appeared after that.
Yeah, so he's
So
really OP
very
compared to the
OP.
original.
Yeah.
Sen Jincho thinks that it's Lu Qingge who's come to circulate his meridians and calls out, "Lucidi, I've been waiting for you all night. Come in quickly." And the way he says that is just like,
Oh my god, that could be taken the wrong way, man. That could be taken the wrong way. Why do you have to say it like that? Like, if you didn't say it like that, this next scene would not have happened.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Immediately, the doors burst open, and Lo Binghe stands at the entrance with dark, icy eyes and a chilling smile. "Zhen, hello." Sen Jincho panics, scared out of his mind, and grabs his fan and jumps out the window.
Immediate reaction is to jump out the fucking window.
Fucking idiot! Like, well, you could have just waited for
No.
maybe.
No talk. Only run.
Only run. Just only panic. Fucking, he's such a dumbass.
Yeah, he's so like every single step in this entire chapter that he takes is like the wrong step.
Yes. His panic is dumb. He should have just chilled. Like in
He's
nowhere
just,
in
like,
his mind does he
like,
think it's
this
okay.
is how shocked he is. He's like,
Yeah.
he did not expect Lo Binghe at all. Like, he was just minding his own business, like, wasting time and like just chilling and being sad and like, whatever. And then all of a sudden his number one fear comes back and he's out of his mind.
It's so sad because I'm like thinking about it from Lo Binghe's perspective.
I know! It's so fucked up. He's like, finally, my teacher, I've missed you so much. Let's talk. And he immediately just runs away.
Yeah, what the fuck? Surely
Bro.
Lo Binghe has come to get his revenge. Sen Jincho flees, but Lo Binghe follows after him, laughing coldly. During the day, Zhen was so intimate and gentle with Gong Yishao, and this evening you lit a lantern, waiting for Lu Sisu until late into the night. What sincere affection! Why then are you so distant when it comes to this disciple?
Bro, he's so jealous. He's so jealous.
Chugging
Fucking
vinegar.
love it. Yeah, like remember, like towards the end of the last episode, Shen Qingqiu was like commiserating with Gong Yishao because like Gong Yishao is like a cannon fodder character. He's like a side character, so like he's never gonna become great. He got kicked out of first place in the Huanhua Palace because Lo Binghe. So he's like just commiserating with him, like, oh man, your life sucks, dude. And then Lo Binghe sees them talking to each other, and they're like, what are they talking about? Why is he so close to him? Why isn't he close to me?
So jealous.
Shen Jinqiu thinks that he needs to find help, and he screams out, "Lu Qingge!" Luo Binghe catches up to him and laughs again. Lu Shishu is embroiled in a fight, so I'm afraid he doesn't have the leisure to come. Shizhen, if you have orders, why not give them to me? Shen Jinqiu panics. Luo Binghe must have delayed Lu Qingge somehow, so no help is coming for him. Shen Jinqiu tries to use his spiritual energy to dash forward faster, but he forgets about his poison flare-up. As a result, his blood locks up. At that moment, Luo Binghe grabs him by the throat and slams him into a rock wall. Shen Qingqiu's head spins in pain. Luo Binghe presses in close and says slowly, "After so many years of separation, we meet amidst Golden Wind and Jade Dew, yet she isn't incessantly calls someone else's name. That truly saddens the disciple a little." And that phrase that he uses just now, golden wind and jade dew, it's actually a reference to a poem about the Magpie Bridge. And if you guys don't know about this story, it's about this like there's was it a straw weaver?
I have no idea. I haven't
Basket
heard this.
weaver? Oh my god, what? This is like a famous thing. Okay, so there's this it's about this like poor couple. There's like this basket weaver girl and this dude who like herds cows, and they were in love with each other, but they were separated. And the only way that they can see each other is once a year on a bridge made out of magpie birds. And it's like that day falls on Chinese Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. No, I haven't heard of that one. I know about stories where like they can only meet on one day, and it's usually something to do with like two celestials and stuff, but I haven't heard
Oh
about
yeah,
it
yeah,
with
yeah.
like the
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 Magpie
weaver
Bridge.
girl and the
Yeah,
cow herder.
there's like a famous bridge somewhere in Asia that they put like statues of magpies on it to like represent the Magpie Bridge, and like a lot of couples like go there and like take pictures together because it's like a, you know, yeah,
Aww.
it's cute. But it's like
Aww.
sad too because they like are separated and they can only see each other once a year. It's like a very Romeo and Juliet situation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Aw. Yeah, no, Chinese people, we fucking love sad stories.
Tragedy, like tragic story. Love it.
Obsessed with
Yeah.
tragedy.
Yeah, yeah. But Lobika is like, man, after so many years of separation, we finally meet again, just like the cow herder and the weaver, and you don't even like me anymore. They try to run away from me. So sad.
Well, yeah, and then also like Lobinghe, you know, okay, so Senshincho runs away, right? But then Lobinghe fucking grabs him by the neck
I
and
know!
slams him against the wall. Dude, both of you are wrong. Both of you are
Escalating.
stupid.
So much
Unnecessary.
like extreme escalation. Like you could have just grabbed him or something. You didn't have to like fucking choke him out and slam him into a wall.
Oh, for real.
But like Lobinghe, like he didn't realize that Shenjingcho is like poisoned right now. Like he just thought that he would like block it or something. But like he has no spiritual energy, so he couldn't block it.
Aww.
Yeah.
Senshincho can't speak, can barely breathe. Just then, a giant dialogue box flashes up before his eyes, and the system offers to provide a hint to avoid death. Use key item Fake Jade Guanyin to consume 100 Lobinghe's anchor points. Holy shit, Senshincho completely forgot about that get out of free jail card. Yes, he'd like to use it. Yes, please. But then the system warns him that the key item is one-time use only and can consume a maximum of 5,000 Lobinghe anchor points. Wait, stop. This is Lobinghe only at 100 angry points out of 5,000? It seems like a waste to use the item now. What if he needs it more importantly later? As Senshincho struggles to make a decision, suddenly Lobinghe looses his hand.
I love this like gamer mentality of Shenjingcho because it's like this key item can potentially get rid of like 5,000 anger points, but like surely he can't use it now, even though he's like possibly on the verge of death because it's only like at 100 anger points. So he doesn't want to use a 5,000 level item on a 100 level like situation right now. So he's like, nah, I'll just use it later. It's fine.
I know, it's so stupid that like,
Yeah.
I mean, right now he knows that. Well, okay, he doesn't know. He does think that he might die because the freaking system just said, "Do you want to avoid death?" He's like, "What the fuck? Am I gonna die? Is that an option?
Yeah.
I might."
Yeah. Oh my god. And don't forget that this is the Guanyin that Lobinghe's mother like gave to him that Shenjingcho picked up when he was like getting bullied. So like he secretly has this item and Lobinghe has no idea. There's no point in running. So Shenjingcho pretends to be chill, leaning against the wall even though he's struggling not to fall to his knees. Lobinghe almost chokes him to death, but now he's all smiles, helping him up and acting like he did in the past. What is this schizophrenic behavior? Lobinghe sighs and says, "Why did Shizun run so fast? This disciple almost couldn't catch up." What bullshit. Lobinghe didn't even break a sweat chasing after him. Shenjingcho says, "You have quite some nerve, returning in such a grandiose fashion. Aren't you afraid someone will discover your true identity?" Lobinghe's eyes flash and says, "Is Shizun worried? Is Shizun concerned or worried?" Shenjingcho thinks, what's the difference? Then he says, what if he tells everyone about Lobinghe's secret? But Lobinghe looks at him with pity and says, "Shizun, that would require someone to believe you."
Senshincho's heart stops. Just like in the original novel, Lobinghe must be planning on ruining Senshincho's reputation. Meanwhile, Lobinghe stares at him intently. What is he even looking at? Surely he isn't trying to make up for lost time after years of separation, right? Just then, the system announces, "Protagonist satisfaction points plus 50. Like, where did that come from?
It's because Lobinghe's staring at him. he just likes looking at him.
Senshincho snaps mentally. What the hell? Why are you always randomly increasing the points? I didn't even do anything. Out loud, he says, "What are you planning to do with your return?" Lobinghe replies, "I was merely reminiscing about how Suzen had treated me well, and I wanted to return to see you." Oh no, he's really come to settle debts and get his revenge.
Oh my god, this they're so stupid right now. Like there's just like so much like miscommunication happening because Lobinka's like, I just wanted to come see you, and Shen Qingqiu's like, oh no, he's here to kill me. That's the only reason he's here. He's here to kill me and get
Yeah.
revenge. Yeah.
Just completely misunderstanding everything he says. Like, oh, I just wanted to see you, Suzen. He wants to see me to stab me.
Yeah, I know. He's like adding extra lines in his head.
What a dumbass.
Shen Qingqiu moves his hand to his sword, saying that if Lo Binghe has come to kill him, how come he brought this plague as well? The citizens are innocent. Hearing this, Lo Binghe's smile disappears, and he says angrily, Shizen harbors a truly relentless hatred towards the demon race. No, I should say a relentless hatred towards me. Shen Qingqiu is speechless. What? He never said that? But Lo Binghe moves closer and says, does Shizen honestly think that I would kill, burn, massacre cities, and inevitably topple countries just because of that half of my lineage? But Shen Qingqiu is silent. He's read Proud Immortal Demon Way, and that's literally what Lo Binghe does in the novel.
Lo Binghe interprets Shen Qingqiu's silence as agreement, and he sneers. Then why did you tell me not to put too much weight on race and that no one is intolerable to the heavens? Why say such pompous things? His face grows darker as he snarls and lashes out. Utter hypocrisy. Shen Qingqiu barely dodges as the wall he was leaning on becomes pulverized. He's known that Lo Binghe's temper could change after surviving a brutal place like the Endless Abyss, but he never expected such a drastic 180. Reading about it in the novel is one thing, but seeing it in person is another. And it's all his fault. Lo Binghe calms down a bit after venting his anger and reaches out towards Shen Qingqiu. But Shen Qingqiu is afraid he'll attack again and draws his sword.
So, like, Shen Qingqiu thinks that Lo Binghe has orchestrated this entire plague in order to, like, get revenge on Shen Qingqiu. And Lo Binghe is like, what the fuck? The plague is not my fault. Like, why are you blaming me? Is it because I'm a demon? You think everything is my fault because I'm a demon? And so, like, so Lo Binghe is, like, getting more and more pissed off. And Shen Qingqiu is getting, like, more and more, like, afraid. And that's making the situation worse. And now he's literally drawing his sword at him, which is, like, not the thing to do. Don't do that, bro.
Exacerbating it. But also, like, Shen Qingqiu, you know, you should just accept your death. You should just, like, roll over and be like, it's all my fault. I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, and he also feels guilty because, like, Lo Binghe used to be, like, super calm and, like, happy, and now he's, like, a fucking rage ball of anger, and he's like, oh no, this is all my fault, but he can't, but he's still, like, you know, he wants to live, so he's trying to, like, run away and shit, like, so stupid.
Yeah, what a dumbass. Like, some of my favorite fics are when Shen Qingqiu accepts his mistake and just like rolls over and is like, you can do anything you want to this master. I deserve it. I'm the one to blame. Like, I love those so much.
Yeah. You just want him to feel like pitiful. And like, I don't know. I feel like Shen Qingqiu, like, the reason he thinks that Lo Binghe is, like, out to kill him is because he has, like, all this knowledge of the original novel. And, like, if it wasn't for that, like, he knows that Lo Binghe becomes, like, evil and, like, murders everyone. So that's why he thinks that Lo Binghe is already evil and murdering people. But, like, he's not. He's still, like, kind of half innocent. Like, he's still, like, in the in-between stage.
Yeah, he's just hurt. He's traumatized and he wants comfort, but no one's there to, like, pat his head or talk to him.
Imagine, like, being kicked into a hell for, like, 2 years. Like, that's not fun. Like, and from the person that you trusted the most, like, of course, like, he's gonna be upset.
Yeah. Oh, it's so sad. Oh my god, I love this dynamic so much.
I also, like, it's so interesting because, like, the book barely mentions the Endless Abyss, so you don't realize how, like, fucked up it is until you're, like, really sitting down and thinking about it, because everything is in Shen Qingqiu's point of view, and everything is kind of fast paced, and like he's just like he's number one at brainwashing himself and like ignoring problems. Like, he just, if something bad is happening, he just tries to forget about it.
Yeah.
So like the book never really lingers on all the like terrible things that happens. It just kind of like moves along because Shen Qingqiu is also like moving along.
Yeah.
And like, but if you like really sit down and think about it, like, Lo Binghe got really fucked over. Like, it's really unfair.
Yeah, I love seeing things from his perspective so much. I love fanfiction writers, man. They're the best.
Oh, I know, they're so good.
Fill in the blanks for us.
So good. Okay, Shen Qingqiu still has no spiritual energy, so he has to wield the sword manually. He has to do everything he can to survive right now. the Sun Moon Dew mushroom that he's been growing as his trump card isn't complete yet, so he has no choice but to fight. Lobingha raises his hand and surrounds it with black demonic energy. He says, Shizen, take a guess. If I grab Shuya, how many strikes will it take before it's corroded all the way through? Shen Qingqiu thinks miserably, there's no need to guess. I bet 50 cents it'll only take one strike. But just as he raises his sword to defend himself, suddenly Lobingha removes the demonic energy and grabs the sword with his bare hands. Shen Qingqiu is shocked. Did he seriously accidentally cut Lobingha with a sword again?
Oh, he thinks it's his fault.
Just grabbed his
immediately
sword with a bare hand.
But like, Shen Qingqiu's like, oh no, I cut him, not just Lobingha grabbing the sword like an idiot.
Lobingha chose to grab the sword, bro.
Lobingha chops on Shen Qingqiu's wrist, making him drop his sword. Then he grabs his arm and sees the red spots all over his hand. You were infected? Lobingha slides his finger over the spots, and they disappear. As expected, this plague is nothing to Lobingha. Shen Qingqiu is lost in thought, wondering what to do now, when suddenly Lobingha punches him in the stomach. Lobingha smiles. An eye for an eye. Zhen should personally make up for the wounds he gave me. Then he yanks Shen Qingqiu's hair, forcing his head up so that he can press his bloody hand against his lips. Shen Qingqiu panics. Motherfucker, don't drink it. Don't drink it. I absolutely cannot drink this. Shen Qingqiu slaps the hand away to spit the blood out, but Lobingha drags him back to pour more blood in. He smiles happily. Zhen, don't spit it out. Even though a heavenly demon's blood is dirty, you won't necessarily die from drinking it, right? He won't die, but this is a fate worse than death.
Suddenly got very sexy.
I know. When I read this the first time, I was like, oh my god.
Oh
yes,
my god.
Finally.
Yeah.
So sexual.
It's like really and like later on when you find out Lobingha's true personality, like this is really funny because it's like so different, but like right now he's like literally like slamming him into a wall, shoving blood down his throat and like being really forceful. And like it's like what the fucking whoa, this came out of nowhere.
Yeah. And you know, before you guys think like ew, blood, why? Just think about all of the vampire content out there in the world and how popular that is, okay?
Yeah. This is and Shen Qingqiu knows, like he knows from reading the book ahead of time that this blood is basically like poison for him. It's gonna be not a good situation for him. So he's like trying to spit this blood out, and Lobingha's like, no, take it. This is for you.
Take this blood.
Get in there. Yeah. Okay, there's a time skip here. Shen Qingqiu returns to his room in the weapons shop in a daze. When he falls into bed, he can't sleep. He can only feel those things crawling inside him. Heavenly demons are able to control their blood outside their body. In the original novel, Lobingha had used his blood for many purposes. A poison, a location tracker, a brainwashing parasite, even a sex tool. What is going to happen to Shen Qingqiu now? He barely gets any sleep when he is jolted awake by loud cheers. Suddenly, Yang Yishuan bursts into his room shouting, "The gates are open! The gates are open! Those red monsters were all captured, so the gates were opened! Jinlan City finally managed to pull through!"
Shen Qingqiu is disoriented and confused. That was so fast. They were all captured in one night? With the gates open, all the cultivators from different sects that were waiting as backup outside the city come in. Mu Qingfan is distributing medicine to the infected. In the middle of the city, 7 sowers were captured alive and held inside of a barrier. Shen Qingqiu sees Lu Qingge and pats his shoulder. What happened last night? Lu Qingge replies, "What's up with your disciple? Last night he caught 5, and I caught 2. Exactly what happened during the years Lobingha went missing." Lu Qingge is shocked that Lobingha was able to beat his kill count. This is a devastating blow to the Baijiang Peak Lord.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be like the god of war. Like he's supposed to be like the most badass, strongest, like master in like the entire world. And this like basically like he doesn't realize he has demon blood. He just thinks he's like a random like human disciple. And it's like, how did that guy beat me? What the fuck?
Yeah. And it makes him interested because Lu Qingge loves other people who are stronger than him. He's like obsessed with them.
He's obsessed with fighting. Like that's all I can think about. The four major sect leaders appear, with Luo Binghe standing next to the Huanhua Palace Master. Yue Qingyuan approaches Shen Qingqiu and says worriedly, "Your complexion is far too poor. As expected, I shouldn't have let you come." Shen Qingqiu gives him an empty smile and says he just slept poorly. Mu Qingfan asks if he's taken his medication again. Shen Qingqiu says yes and thinks, "Please don't ask me if I've taken my meds today ever again." Suddenly, there's a clamor as the governor of Jinlan City kneels before Luo Binghe, thanking him for saving them. Shen Qingqiu twitches. Of course, it's the protagonist who steals the spotlight, even though Lu Qingge helped and Mu Qingfan made all the medicine.
Luo Binghe replies, Jinlan City made it safely through this calamity due to the efforts of many sects working together to support each other. It would be difficult for a single person's efforts to accomplish such. His humble words caused the governor to praise him more, saying that his teacher is truly a great master to create such an outstanding disciple. Luo Binghe smiles and glances at Sen Qingqiu, but Sen Qingqiu raises his fan and avoids eye contact. At the same time, the old palace master looks at Luo Binghe with a fond gaze, like a father looking proudly at his son-in-law slash successor. Gross.
Wow.
Fuck that
So
guy.
there's like this weird triangle happening because Luo Binghe is like, "Oh, someone's praising my teacher. Let me look at Shen Qingqiu." It's like, but then Shen Qingqiu is like, "Oh, surely he's not talking about me." And the Huanhua Palace Master is like, "Oh, surely he's talking about me because this guy's gonna be my successor."
Yep.
They need to deal they need to decide how to deal with the sowers. Shen Qingqiu says that sowers fear heat and they'll need to burn them alive. A cultivator is shocked, saying that such a method is too cruel and barbaric. But the Jinlan city's citizens protest. They suffered so much from the plague. Who cares if it's barbaric? They shout out, "Burn them and burn anyone who objects." The sowers laugh inside the barrier, showing no sign of remorse, except one tiny sower who weeps miserably. Qin Wanyue looks at it sympathetically and says, "Lo Shishong, that frail little sower looks so pitiful."
In response, Luo Binghe just smiles and says nothing. Sen Jinqiu thinks this is strange. What kind of reaction is this? In the original novel, Luo Binghe would have used this opportunity to woo the girl with sympathetic words and tenderness. Did Luo Binghe lose all his seduction ability because he leveled up his fighting skills too fast? Just then, the small sower throws itself into the barrier and shouts, Immortal Master Sen, you must not let them burn me to death. I'm begging you, Immortal Master Sen, please save me.
I think it's really fucking interesting that Shen Qingqiu is like Luo Binghe, like this girl is like so sad, and he thought that Luo Binghe was gonna comfort her and like be like a lady killer, and he's just like he's basically just ignoring her, and Shen Qingqiu is like, "Bro, this is your opportunity. Like, what are you doing? Go be a lady killer. Like, seduce her." And he like doesn't even care. And he's gonna have like similar thoughts like throughout the rest of the novel. Like any single time a girl is like trying to show affection to him and like look for sympathy from Luo Binghe, and Luo Binghe just like, totally ignores her, he's like, "What is wrong with you? Like, where's your Shen Qingqiu is stunned. "What? Who the fuck are you? Why are you calling out for me randomly? I don't know you, okay?" But across the plaza, thousands of eyes land on Shen Qingqiu. The sower wails more. "We were only following your orders. You never said that we'd be burned." What the fuck? What the fuck? Is Shen Qingqiu drunk right now? This can't be happening. The old palace master demands that Shen Qingqiu explains himself. But what is there to explain? This is obviously a trick, yet everyone believes it. In a matter of minutes, everyone turns against Shen Qingqiu except for the cultivators from the Kung from the
Yeah,
from the Sangchong mountain sect, who all look displeased at all the accusations.
Yue Qian is especially angry. Qi Qingxi says that obviously the sower is framing someone as one last evil deed before it dies. Yet they are taking the bait. How laughable. The old palace master asks, then why has it made no other claims and instead focus only on immortal Master Sen? Sen Jinqiu thinks, what happened to innocent until proven guilty? Luo Binghe stays silent, but he watches intently as the situation unfolds. In the original novel, Sen Jinqiu lost his reputation when he murdered Lu Qingge, but in this new reality, Lu Qingge is alive and Sen Jinqiu has done nothing wrong. Is that why the plot is coming up with this fake slander to continue the canon?
So like right now, everyone like is assuming that Shen Cho is responsible for the sowers and the plague and everything going on, and like no one is even stopping to think like, oh, maybe the sowers are lying. And like he said in the original novel, like this situation happened differently. Like there was never this situation with the fake slander and the sowers. Like in the original novel, his reputation was killed after it was revealed that he murdered Lu Chunge. So he's wondering like, oh, that never happened. Lu Chunge's still alive, so maybe the book is coming up with like another way to ruin his reputation.
Yeah, and like the fact that people even just assume that he worked with demons, and then Lo Binghe's not really saying anything, and like Lo Binghe
Yeah.
knows that he hates demons, so like who is it? Who's the actual culprit?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Lo
Mm-hmm.
Binghe still, or is it someone else?
Well, Shen Qingqiu definitely thinks it's Lobinghe. He just assumes that anything bad happening to him is Lobinghe's fault, which is like so totally unfair. Which is
So
why Lobinghe is
unfair.
like so upset right now.
Oh, poor boy.
hmm Suddenly, one of the Huanhua Palace disciples stepped forward. It's the same one that ridiculed Shen Qingqiu at the brothel the previous night. He says that yesterday, he and his fellow disciples saw that Shen Qingqiu's arm was covered in red patches from the infection, but now they have disappeared. The medicine that Mu Qingfan made needs 24 hours to take effect. Even Luo Binghe, who has taken the medicine, still has the red patches on his hands. So how has Shen Qingqiu recovered so quickly? Isn't it suspicious? Shen Qingqiu sighs. Of course there was a reason that Luo Binghe healed his infection. He should have known it wasn't out of kindness, which is ironic because it
No.
literally was out of kindness.
Oh no. Yo Qingyan says, my city oversees Qingjing Peak. As a peak lord, he has always been a model member of the sect. His moral character is noble and unsullied. This Wait, this the entire sect?
Mhm.
The entire
This
sect.
the entire sect. No. That's true.
This
That's correct.
Okay. This the entire sect both knows and understands. For everyone to believe such baseless claims so easily, you're far too susceptible to provocation. Senjin Cho's face grows red. Big bro, are you for real? No need to lie on my behalf. Isn't saying something like noble and unsullied moral character a bit too much? But then the palace master says, is that so? That differs from what I've heard. Senjin Cho's heart sinks. This is it. Goodbye, reputation.
The old palace master says that he's heard rumors of Shen Qingqiu abusing and harming his disciples. Shen Qingqiu sweats. He himself didn't abuse his disciples, but the original Shen Qingqiu did before he took over his body. Yue Qingyuan cuts in that those are just rumors not to be believed. But then Qin Wanyue interjects, then how come Shen Qingqiu ordered Luo Binghe to face a powerful demon covered in poisonous armor? Is that not abuse? Shen Qingqiu argues Shen Qingqiu argues back that he also saved Luo Binghe from the poison with his own body, and then asks Luo Binghe for his opinion on the matter. All the Sangchong Mountain sect members are shocked to see Luo Binghe alive. They hadn't even recognized him until Shen Qingqiu referred to him by name.
Senjin Cho is actually kind of pissed. He didn't have to save Lo Binghe. He knew that Lo Binghe would have been fine even if he did get hit with the poison, but he still got screwed over when he stepped in. And now they're using that situation to smear his reputation. Lo Binghe says slowly, the kindness Zen showed by protecting me with his own body, I will never dare to forget it. Qin interrupts. Why did Lo Binghe not return to Qingjing Peak right away? Because of him, Shen Cho was out of his mind with... And Shen Cho starts coughing violently to stop her from saying more. Fucking hell, he never wants to hear the phrase out of his mind with grief ever again.
Oh my god! Like literally, from everyone's perspective, that we're within the sect, they all think that Shen Qingqiu was like grieving and like depressed because his like disciple is dead. But like literally, no one else outside the mountain sect knows about this because only the people within the sect that saw him like being sad and pitiful.
Yeah, and like I wish that Chi got to say with grief because at least
Yeah, then
Lo
Lo Binghe would
Binghe,
have been like, "Oh my god, you were sad for me," you know.
you thought about me? What do you mean like out of your mind with grief? Did you cry for me? You built a sword
Yeah.
bound? What?
Oh. Then all the situation could have been avoided. The old palace master says that obviously Lo Binghe did not die, so why did Shen Qingqiu say that he did? And why was he unwilling to return? It's very suspicious. Shen Qingqiu replies that he has no control over what Luo Binghe chooses to do. It has nothing to do with him. The old palace master smiles and says that if there is some mastermind behind the solar attacks, they must find who it is and punish them. Luo Binghe speaks up and says that Shen Qingqiu hates demons, so there's no possibility of him colluding with them. Though it sounds like he's defending him, Shen Qingqiu also knows that there's a hidden meaning in his words. He asks, Luo Binghe, right now, are you a disciple of Qingjing Peak or a member of Huanhua Palace?
The palace master sneers. After all this, Peak Lord Sen is once again willing to recognize this disciple. Sen Jinshou says that he never expelled him, and he still calls him Shizhen. But all of a sudden, a woman's voice calls out, Senjo, are you Senjo? Instantly, Sen Jinshou's serene composure completely falls apart. Fuck. Are the heavens determined to finish me today? I'm done for. It's that woman. It's Cho Haitong. In the original novel, Cho Haitong was a beautiful woman who ends up in Luo Binghe's harem, but it is revealed that she also had an affair with Sen Qingqiu in the past. Her appearance also signals Sen Qingqiu's complete and utter fall from grace.
So much is happening right now. Like literally
different person.
Literally
out of nowhere.
Literally, Shen Qingqiu is like dealing with accusations that he's behind the fucking plague, and then the fucking palace master is like, oh, we also heard rumors that you are abusing your disciples. You're a fucking terrible person. And then all of a sudden, this like woman who comes out of nowhere and says, are you Shenju?
Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Just
literally out of nowhere.
Literally, when this happened in the book, I was like, excuse me?
Who are you, ma'am? Like, what the fuck?
Adults are
like,
speaking.
I know. And then it is revealed a little bit, like right now she's mentioned as having had an affair with Shen Qingqiu before Shen Qingqiu became, like, before he took over his body. They had some sort of mysterious affair in the past, and then she later on became part of Luo Binghe's harem as one of his wives. So Shen Qingqiu is like, oh god, this is not gonna be good for him.
No, it's not. Also, how old is this woman? Because like whenever they talk about the immortals, the sect leaders, cultivators, I'm just thinking, oh, these guys do be like 80 years old. So
oh yeah, they're like, well, Shen Qingqiu specifically has like cultivated to immortality. So he's like a million. Who knows how old he is? He could be whatever.
Yeah, and the fact that Chu Haitong used to be, with Sen Qingqiu back in the past, so she's probably the same age.
She's also old.
She gets married to Luo Binghe, who's a child.
Yeah.
In this world, he's a child.
Luo Binghe like marries everyone. He's just become like everyone's husband.
Oh my god! No matter if they're 15 or if they're 50,
doesn't
apparently.
matter. You're part of his hair now.
Yeah.
So is it Cho?
Chu.
I said Chu in my head.
Cho. It's Cho.
Cho. Okay. Cho Haitong steps forward with a sword and says, "I'm asking you a question. Why do you not look at me?" Shen Qingqiu thinks to himself, "Big sis, how could I dare look at you? You're here for my life." Cho Haitong says sadly, "So that's why. No wonder I searched for so many years but still never found you again. I see. You had already flown to the summit and become the aloof and lofty master of Qingjing Peak. How splendid!" Shen Qingqiu doesn't know how to respond and remains silent. Everyone around them starts whispering, what is going on? Yue Qingyuan says, "Qingqiu, this young lady is indeed a former acquaintance of yours?"
Cho Haitong says sorrowfully, "Former acquaintance? I am not only a former acquaintance. This man, who looks so dignified, was once my childhood sweetheart, and I'm his wife." Luo Binghe's eyebrows twitch madly. Sen Qinghua says with surprise, "Eh? Is this really true? Why have I never heard Sen Qingqiu mention it before?" Sen Qingqiu looks at him with a fake smile, thinking, can you stop adding fuel to the fire? You wrote the situation to make Sen Qingqiu look bad, and now you're just standing back and enjoying the show? All you cultivators, why do you love gossip so much? Go away, go away.
I love how Shang Qinghua, bro, you literally wrote the story.
Yeah.
He's like, what? You're married? I had no idea.
This motherfucker. This actual motherfucker.
He's literally the fucking author, and he's supposed to know everything, and he doesn't even know this. Like, bro.
Yeah. And the fact that, like, We are now finding out, oh, they didn't just have an affair. They were married.
They were engaged.
Yeah,
They were
this
to
is
be betrothed. And, yeah.
everything's happening in this chapter, you guys. There's
And
just so much information.
I love how Lobingha's like eyebrows are twitching. He's like, "What? You had a wife? How dare you?" Cho Haitong sneers. He's a beast in man's clothing, a degenerate wearing a cultured mask. Of course he wouldn't mention his shameful deeds. Master Wen Chu, who wants to defend Shen Cho, speaks up and says, "Blind accusations do not invite confidence." Shen Cho despairs and thinks, "Master, I know you're trying to help me, but if she shows her proof, I'm completely done for. Who knows what terrible things the original Shen Cho did before I showed up." Everyone looks at Cho Haitong, and she vows that everything she says is true. When Shen Cho was 12 years old, he was a slave for her family, purchased from child traffickers. Since he was the ninth child of the group of children, he was called Xiao Ju, which
Joe.
means little nine. Xiao Zhou, which means little nine.
Her parents saw that he was abused and bought him out of pity, teaching him to read and providing him with food. Her older brother also looked after him and they had a close relationship. When he turned 15, her parents passed and her brother became the head of the household. He freed him from the slave contract and viewed him as a brother. She and Senjo had affections for each other and were betrothed. But then a watering cultivator visited the city and offered to take in a new disciple. Senjo applied and got chosen, and he announced he would be leaving the family.
But her older brother didn't agree. To him, cultivating towards immortality was like a pipe dream. Plus, he and his sister are betrothed. How can Shenzhou betrothed? Betrothed. Plus, he and his sister are betrothed. How can Shenzhou abandon everyone like that? The two of them had a great argument, which led to Shenzhou killing her brother, killing all the servants in the household, and then running away with the cultivator. Cho Haitong ended up alone and powerless to support the estate. She spent years looking for Shenzhou. The cultivator who took him in as a disciple was later killed too. It's only because she happened to come to Jinlan City that day that she's finally found Shenzhou. It's only because she happened to come to Jinlan City that day that she's finally found out that Shenzhou has killed his benefactor and managed to become a peak lord. The cultivator who taught him to murder was a murderer himself, and his name was Wu Yanxi.
There's just everything's happening, guys.
He's now accused of murdering her brother, all the servants, and like becoming the disciple of a murderer.
And he also killed his
he then killed the fucking master.
He just killed everyone that was involved with him. He's just turning out to be the baddest guy ever.
I know, it's like all of a sudden, this is fine.
Yeah.
This is fine.
Out of nowhere. Like, literally, what the fuck? Yesterday, he was
having
chill,
a normal day, dude.
Suddenly, Lobing He, then his ex-wife, his ex-wife accusing him of killing her entire family, plus his master. It's just everything's happening. And then also the sewers. Also, saying that it's
he's
his
also
fault.
affiliated with the demons, even though he's like innocent, and he's also accused of abusing disciples, and like no one believes everything
him.
Is tarnished.
And even though all of Songchang Mountain is saying, "What the fuck?" Everyone else is like, possibility. I believe this.
I can see it.
Wu Yanzi was infamous for having a long list of terrible deeds attached to his name. To find out that a peak lord had been his disciple, everyone is horrified. But Sen Cho himself feels calm. Deep down, he's actually skeptical of this story. He knows the original Sen Cho's personality. He's pig-headed, petty, uncharismatic, and antisocial. With that kind of disposition, how could he have endeared himself to a group of strangers long enough that they would take him in as family? Basically, he was so unlovable that this story makes no sense. Unfortunately, no one else knows this about Sen Cho. Too many unfavorable accusations are happening at the same time.
That's so sad. Shen Cho knows, like, dude, the original me was too much of an asshole to become adopted. There's no way he could have been adopted. And so, like, that's the only reason that he knows that there's a flaw in this story. But, like, no one else knows that about him because he acted like a lofty immortal. So everyone just like says like, oh yeah, that's believable. This is a believable
Yeah,
tale.
whereas he's
Yeah.
just like, this sounds crazy, right? Like, this is all just random things piled on top of each other. Why is everything happening to me right now?
Out of nowhere. First, the demons insinuate that he's working with them. Then the old palace master reveals the rumors of abuse, and now Chu Haiteng has told everyone of his ugly past. The old palace master tells Yue Qingyuan that a magnificent sect like Sangchong Mountain shouldn't harbor such an unsavory character. How about they arrest Shen Qingqiu in Huanhua Palace until an investigation can be done? Underneath Huanhua Palace is a place called the Water Prison, which is a heavily guarded torture chamber. Only the most evil cultivators are sent there for custody until a trial can be held, where the four major sects will get together to deliver a sentence. Luchinga listens to all this, seething with anger the entire time, but finally he's reached his limit and he sneers, done talking.
Luchinga pulls out his blade, Chunglun, and moves to a fighting stance. At the same time, Huanghua Palace disciples draw their swords. Yu Qingyan says, Lucidi, stand down. Luchinga is unwilling, but he obeys, forcing his hand away from his sword. But then, surprisingly, Yu Qingyan unsheathes the all-black longsword at his waist, only by an inch, revealing a blindingly snow-white blade. In an instant, the entire plaza is roiling with spiritual energy. The sword hums so loudly that many junior disciples are forced to cover their ears. It is the legendary sword Xuanzu. Everyone is shocked. Yu Qingyuan actually ordered Luchinga to stand down so that he could fight himself.
This scene was so badass. Oh my god, dude. Like, literally, Luchinga is like, fuck you. Are you guys done talking? I'm gonna fucking beat your ass. And the sect leader is like, put your sword away. Don't fight. And
my beer.
He's like, oh, I guess we're not gonna fight. Damn. But then the sect leader himself opens his sword by an inch. Literally just an inch. And it's so strong that it's like humming with so much spiritual energy that people have to literally cover their ears because they can't handle the amount of energy coming off this one sword. Only an inch. Like that's so badass.
An inch is all you need.
Yes, it sure is. Oh, he's so cool. He's so cool. Ever since Yue Qingyuan became the sect master, he has only ever drawn his sword twice. Once during his ascension ceremony, and once when he battled a heavenly demon who also happened to be Luo Binghe's father. Though the sword has only been drawn by an inch, everyone can see how powerful Yue Qingyuan is. No wonder he became the sect master despite his calm and mild personality. Immediately, the old palace master orders his disciples into battle formation. Shen Qingqiu can see that the situation is developing poorly, and he quickly throws his sword before the Huanhua palace master. Giving up one sword is the same as surrendering.
He just, no fight.
Yeah, it's like, this is, stop, no one needs to fight on my behalf.
Yeah.
I will surrender myself.
If
it's
any
fine.
of you were
Everyone
trying
needs
to like guess whether or not this is going to be like a shonen with like fight scenes and stuff, no, just remember it's a BL.
This is a yeah, if you want fight scenes, you have to wait till we get to Grandmaster Demonic Cultivation. That shit has way more fight scenes.
yeah. Not here. Not for us. Everything here is a BL somehow.
It's just political shit, and this guy who doesn't want to die, and he's just like, I don't want anyone else to die. I'm just gonna drop my sword.
The old palace master immediately snatches up the sword. Yu Qinyan is alarmed, but Sen Qingqiu reassures him. Those who are clean will remain clean no matter what. Qingqiu is willing to accept arrest. Sen Qingqiu has almost expected this to happen, since the original Sen Qingqiu also gets arrested in the original novel. He was hoping to avoid it, but he couldn't. When he glances at Luo Binghe, he sees neither joy nor anger. Finally, Yue Qinyan sheaths his sword, and the humming and overbearing spiritual force dissipates. Sen Qingqiu goes into a deep bow before Yue Qinyan, guilty for causing his sect leader so much trouble.
And you know that the original Shen Qingqiu would never act like this. This is like so OOC for Shen Qingqiu and like his original personality. But like him surrendering quietly and then bowing to Yue Qingyuan and for like to an apology, like that would never have happened.
Well, debatable, because I think Sen Qingqiu, the original Sen Qingqiu, would have exacerbated all of the claims and just been like, yeah, that's right, I did it, whatever, fuck you guys.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you guys.
fuck you guys. And then
I don't care what you say.
Yeah, Chinya would have been like, shout Joan. He's like, don't fucking talk to me like that. You're a piece of shit. Fuck you.
Shut your face. You would beat that woman up so fast. Like, before she could even say anything, he would beat her up, dude.
Oh my, yeah. Oh my god.
Cho Hai Tang is still sobbing, and Chin Chun... Oh, that's a W. And Chin Wanye approaches her, vowing to bring her justice. Cho Hai Tang is moved and thanks her, but in doing so, she spots Lo Binghe standing alone at the side. Immediately, she blushes. Shen Qingqiu rolls his eyes. His quote-unquote wife is falling in love right in front of his eyes, but he couldn't care less. Gong Yishao approaches Shen Qingqiu with a set of immortal binding cables. He sounds truly sorry when he says, Senior Shen, my apologies. This junior will treat you with due respect. Before the truth comes to light, I will not let you suffer any slight. Shen Qingqiu nods, but he thinks, what does it matter if Gong Yishao treats me with respect? Everyone else in Huanhua Palace already assumes he's guilty.
The palace master says the trial will take place in 1 month, but Lu Qingge interrupts and says 5 days. The longer Shen Qingqiu is imprisoned, the more torture he's going to face. The old palace master says that they can't have a proper investigation with such a short time frame. The master of the Zhaohua Palace suggests 10 days as a compromise. Ye Qingyuan says 7 days, no longer. Shen Qingqiu feels awkward, like he's a piece of meat being haggled over at the market. He cuts in, there's no need for more back and forth. Listen to the palace master's plans. 1 month. The longer he can delay the trial, the better for the growth of the longer he can delay the trial, the longer he can delay the trial, the better for the growth of the dew mushrooms, his backup plan. He gives a meaningful look to San Qinghua. San Qinghua gives him a subtle thumbs up. Now all Shen Qingqiu has to do is survive a month as a prisoner in the sect under Luo Binghe's control.
End
like,
of the
he's
chapter.
just like accepting it. He's like, yeah, okay, I'm good. Let's just do this. Whatever, man. Whatever.
Just get it over with, bro. It's too late. I give up on life. It's fine.
Yeah, but like, think about everyone else. Like, Ye Qingyan's like, wait, what do you mean you're gonna surrender? I literally just pulled my sword out for you. I never did that.
Oh my god, he's never pulled out his sword like in like the many years that he was a sect leader, and he pulls it out now on his behalf, and he's like, no, it's fine. I'm just gonna surrender just give up now.
Yeah, and like Lu Qingge's like, but like, you know, he probably can't vocalize
so
it, but like, Lu Qingge,
no, he doesn't know how to speak.
Secretly, very much like is obsessed with Shen Qingqiu.
Dude, everyone loves him, and he doesn't fucking realize it. Like, he has a harem, and he doesn't fucking understand that he has a harem.
I love that he has a harem so bad. Oh my god,
he's so good. Yeah, literally everyone falls in love with him because he's like such a nice, gentle. He has like that gentle personality, and like even though he's like acting selfishly, everyone misunderstands and thinks he's being like a cool dude. And he's like such a poser that he like tries to act as like a perfect immortal, and so like everyone just like falls in love with him.
Yeah, because he acts like a spoiled brat, so they're like, oh, we must take care of this brat.
Yes, we must love him. And throughout the entire chapter, he keeps mentioning like the mushrooms, and I'm very curious to see if anyone like knows what's gonna happen if they have not read this novel yet, because like this entire time when I was reading it, I was like, what the fuck is this mushroom? Like, what is your backup plan? Like, he never actually says it out loud. He just keeps insinuating it. So at this point, if you have never read this novel before, you might be confused as well,
like,
wondering what he's trying to do with the
mushroom?
mushrooms. Yeah, the fuck, man, keep talking about these mushrooms.
All right, cool. Let's read some of chat.
Yes.
Let's see. Kate says, I thought Shelian was the master of not answering questions, but bro just jumped out of a window.
Bro, literally, he totally did.
Yo.
And if he doesn't know what to say, he just pulls out his fucking sword. Like, no, don't do that. Don't do that, baby.
Dumbass. Caradu wants a fanfic of that whole part though, where, you know, the blood in the mouth choking.
Oh, there's situation. So many. There's so much blood parasite. Because, okay, literally, Lobing has the power. He has the power to manipulate his blood in any person that he forces them to eat. So as soon as you ingest his blood, he can control your body. He can control your organs. Yep. He can find where you are. It's like a location tracker. He can kill you. It's like a poison. Mm-hmm. He can make you horny because it's also an aphrodisiac. Like, he has so much power over you. It's like not even funny. It's so OP.
He's a bloodbender. Yeah, it's way OP.
Basically a bloodbender. Yeah.
Leon Me says that Chat GPT is writing the story now. Yep.
bro, it's like everything bad that could happen has happened.
Yeah, that's definitely the vibe.
Yeah. It's like, what, you thought you were in trouble? I can just add more to the mix. It's fine.
And Leon said that he also did a spit take.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about our off topics.
Oh yeah. I read so much fanfics while I was on vacation.
Good.
I'm trying to decide which one I want to talk about. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna talk about a PG one for now because I want to save my like juicy ones for the bottom of the show for the patrons. Um, Okay, so this is one that I read called Osmanthus Jelly, and it's written by Anonymous, and I really like this writing style, so I'm kind of sad that I'm not going to be able to read whoever wrote this other series. It's written anonymously. But, okay, so this is actually a Scum villain fanfic set within canon. And it's just like a little snippet in time. And it's really cute and funny. But basically, Lo Bing-he, he's like in his, 18, 17-year-old form where he's like not kicked, he's not revealed to be a demon quite yet, but he himself knows that he has demon powers, right? Like he knows that he can, like, he never gets sick, he's very strong, and he's a little bit stronger than the other disciples. But one day there's a series of colds going through Shenqingqiu's mountain. All the disciples are getting sick, and Shenqingqiu, being who he is, just like is hand caring for everyone. Like he's just like feeding everyone medicine, giving everyone candy, touching everyone's forehead, checking everyone's temperature. And Lo Bing-he, because he has demon blood, is like incapable of being sick. So he's like jealous as fuck when he's watching like Ning Ying Ying getting like pampered by his shizun. And he's like, oh, I have a brilliant idea. I'll just pretend to be sick. So he gets like spicy food to like make himself sweat. He sniffs like pollen from flowers to give himself like a runny nose, and he's like burning up, like he like totally overdid it, and he's like, Shizun, I'm sick, can you take care of me too?
Aww.
And Shenqingqiu was like, what, you're sick? Like, how could that be? Because he knows that he's a fucking demon, like it's impossible for you to get sick. But Lo Bing-he is like really like hamming it up. He's like, oh my god, no, touch my forehead, I'm like burning up. He's like, oh god, you are burning up. And he's like, he like runs him a bath, like does like combs his hair, gives him candy, like pampers him, and like puts his like lips to his forehead to like like care for him. And Lo Bing-he is like this is the first time that anyone's ever cared for him before, and he's like starts getting really emotional and like tearing up. And Shenqingqiu is like worried, like, oh my god, are you feeling even more sick? Like, should I bring Wuqing Fan in? And he's like, no, I just want to be here like this. And they just like hold each other tenderly, and it's like a very, very sweet moment between like disciple and teacher. And even though this is set in Lo Bing-he's perspective, so he has like that childish like teenage crush on his teacher. He's like, everything he does is like taken to the extreme in his head, and he's just like really happy, like, and excited, and just there's like this scene because there was like when he has that bath for the first time, he's always been used to like showering in like a river or like cold water. So this is like the first time that he's had like a hot bath where he's like enveloped in warmth, and he's just like reminded of his mother, and like and like the care that he has and the love that he receives from his teacher. Like it's just a sweet moment. And then at the end of the fig, there's like everyone is back to their full health again, and they're just like going on with their days. But then all of a sudden, Ning Ying Ying gets sick again. And the symptoms are so weird. She has like stomach cramps and like mood swings, and like, yeah, she's like bleeding from her butthole or something. That's so weird. And Lo Bing-he and Shizun is like, oh, Ning Ying Ying, you don't have to work out. Like, why don't you like sit over here and eat some chocolate? Like, everything is fine. Like, why don't you like you should relax. And Lo Bing-he is like fucking jealous again. So he's like, Shizun, I have the same thing too.
Oh,
he's like,
my god.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. I'm like, bruh, you do not have your fucking period. Get the hell out of here. So stupid.
Wow.
So stupid.
That is so funny. Wow.
So cute.
He just pretends he has his period. What the fuck?
He's like, no, I want Shizun's attention too.
Oh my god, that's so cute and terrible.
It's so cute. It's so cute.
Okay, so my off topic isn't a fanfic. It's actually a a manhwa that I've been reading, and
Nice.
yeah, I've gotten back into reading manhwas, especially because this week I have like a lot of time to myself finally. Oh
Nice,
my
nice,
god.
nice, nice.
And let me get the exact title again. Oh wait, why can't I? Where is it? Wait, where is it? Oh
Uh-oh.
my fucking god.
Where'd it
My
go?
stupid app isn't working properly.
Oh,
So let me just grab it
okay.
from the website that I usually go to.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Let me log in. I have to get the exact title because it's like a weird word.
Is it very long?
No, it's very short.
Okay.
Okay, let me go to my. Is it timeline? Is it homepage?
History?
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 History? Hello? Oh my god. Wait, really? My stupid thing is like not. Hold on.
Okay.
The Palace of. No, wait. Oh, geez. Okay.
Found it.
No. One sec. Why is this happening to me? I was
What's
literally
happening?
just reading it. Like, I can't find it anymore.
Oh.
I was just reading it. 1 second.
Do you have like recent? You can sort by recent, I think, on your app.
It's not on the app for some reason. I don't know why.
Did they get rid of it? What happened?
Yeah, it's just
Kate
being
says,
weird.
if I act like a spoiled brat, can I get a harem too? Yeah, anything is possible.
Yep. It might. You might.
I love the fix where Binga is just acting like a baby. Because he's spoiled for his teacher's attention.
Yeah.
Cute.
Oh, there we go. Okay, the Palace of Bardo is what it's called.
Okay.
And I want to say it's danmei, but it's hard to tell if it's danmei or if it's Korean, because the art style is different. And I don't know.
What's it called?
The Palace of Bardo, Bardo.
I will look it up and see who the author was. See if that helps.
So
I read this one. I know this
so
one. This is
good.
Korean, and dude, it's so good. It's
Yeah.
sad. It's so
Yeah.
sad. It's
Yeah.
fucked up. It's about reincarnation. Okay, I'll let you go. I'll let you
Okay.
talk about it. Okay.
So
Boom.
it's a reincarnation story, and it's about an emperor and his like architect, who also becomes his like kind of concubine in a way,
Slave.
and his slave, his like bed warmer. So it's 100 years in the future, and the like bed warmer architect guy has been captured by the emperor, but he like the bed warmer, he remembers everything that happened to him in his past life, which was 100 years ago. And so he is like filled with hatred for this emperor, who he knows is the reincarnation of the previous emperor. And the emperor's like, why do you hate me so much? That makes me hot. You're gonna come hang out
But
with
he has
me
like
now.
trauma, bro.
And like the fucking guy, the bed warmer, the architect, he's just like, I fucking hate you. You're disgusting. He's like, why do you hate me? That's hot. Come over here. And so what you find out, and it's the way that they like divulge information is like over the course of the entire like manhwa. So I'm definitely spoiling it for you guys. What happened is that 100 years ago, the emperor falls in love with his architect, but the architect is like very traumatized and doesn't believe that he like can be loved, or like that he doesn't want to be loved, because he
Like,
has...
imagine how fucking traumatized you have to be to get to that point, because
Yeah.
like he went through so much shit, dude.
Yeah, he got non-conned by his brother, so he like doesn't want to touch anyone ever again, and
afraid
he
of humans.
doesn't tell that to the emperor, and the emperor just assumes that he's like cheating on him or something, like that he like doesn't like him, but also that he's like cheating on him by like seeing somebody else. So he becomes like extremely violent about it, and ends up like killing everything that this architect loves. Like the architect says, hey, I like birds, and so the emperor just kills all of the birds. He's like, oh, I like flowers.
So normal. Such a
then
normal thing to do.
Destroys all the flowers. Like, he's so obsessive and horrible. He like kills all of his own concubines to like get them out of the way, so that this guy can be his own. And just like, it's a bunch of like horrible non-con. So then finally he ends up being like coerced by his brother to killing the emperor, but he in fact doesn't want to kill the emperor, instead sacrifices himself. But the emperor thinks that he is trying to assassinate him, and because of that, the architect himself ends up dying, and the brother ends up dying, and then the emperor ends up like just killing himself out of like anger, grief in a way. And so everyone gets reborn and history repeats itself almost to like exact, except the emperor this time doesn't have like a sadistic streak in him, and he ends up not like murdering everyone. Instead, he's just like, why don't you like me? I'm so nice to you. You should like me.
I know. He just likes him.
And then his everyone's memory ends up coming back, like the brother's memory, the emperor's memory, like some other character's memory, and of course like our architect, he was born with his memories. And it's all just like, it all happens very fast. Like everything happens within like the span of a couple of weeks almost. And they end up changing history, which is great. But yeah, it's still like really dark and sad and violent, and you're not sure who you're rooting for until basically the last moment of the book. You are rooting for the 5-year-old son, though. There's a
child.
The emperor has kids because he has concubines. And so like his son, who's 5 years old, is the most stickiest little boy. I love him so much. He's all like, I want to hang out with the architect, and I want to beat my dad to hang out with him. Like, fuck that guy. And he'll like cry or like look pitiful like just to spite his dad. Yeah, he's so cute. Honestly, I was like wondering if the son will end up becoming evil or not, or is he just gonna be this like adorable childish kid, and he just remained adorable and childish.
No, it's just they need a ray of sunshine because it's really fucked.
So dark. Yeah,
they do so many like flashbacks of all like the terrible things that happened to the guy, and it's like, woo! I can't believe I didn't recommend this to you earlier. This is like right up your alley, man.
Oh my god, yeah, it was. Yeah,
and the art is really interesting. It's like different.
Yeah, I get the sense that the artist used 3D models in order to trace over, because all of his character designs are human realistic.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, like something about the way that it's drawn kind of looks like the old Korean like traditional paintings, like the paintings of the emperors and stuff, like the way that they kind of look. It just kind of gives that vibe. So I'm pretty sure it's like intentional because it's like a historical drama, quote unquote historical drama. But yeah, it is something else. It's really good. It's good. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so let's talk about our Patreon. So in the last week or last 2 weeks, let's see what your comments are. So on episode 3 of Scum Villain, Kate Payne says, I feel like we all need a Lo Bing-he in our lives, the simp of all simps.
He's big simp energy.
Yeah, I love that he's a super simp energy.
Yeah.
And then on episode 4's bottom show, Abister93 says, I haven't read most of your fic recs yet because I'm scared of spoilers and still need to finish reading a bunch of danmeis first, but I made a collection of AO3 for them, and I'm working to going back through all the episodes and adding them. You can find it by searching in collections for BLHQ fic recs if anyone else finds it useful to have them all in one place. Abister, I want this!
That's a genius idea! Why didn't we think of this? We should have made a fucking collection for all our fic recs.
No, we're going to use Abister's fic recs. We're going to give me that link. I'm going to find that link. We're going to post it. Thank you so much. This is the kind of community involvement I love. Thank you.
Yeah, we never would have thought to do that. Thank God you did, because that's really fucking genius.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Let's see. On episode 4, Uncut, Abister93 also says, Sen Yuan buys Playboy for the articles.
Bro, he's such a dude. This guy, he's afraid of women.
he reads all these yellow books, but doesn't actually know what to do with himself.
Yeah, he reads smut for the plot, like actually.
Yep. Lo Bing-he and Honger simp at the same vibration, especially with the whole sexual awakening because your idol is topless due to a demonic attack thing. Yep. Yep. And then on episode 4, Scum Villain, Kate Payne says, is it just me or does it seem like MXTX kind of hates receptionist file keepers? She kind of low-key hates people who are good with numbers. Yeah. And also, awesome episode, ladies. Thank you, Kate. You're the best. I appreciate
But yeah, all the secretary positions. I guess being in that position in life is like not the most fun job.
Yeah.
Being in charge of logistics and like record
keeping. But she
keeping.
just disrespects them, though. She always disrespects them.
She's
Maybe
like,
that's
you
what
have the lowest position.
I bet you maybe she had a job like that and she's just like, fuck this job.
Hated the fuck out of it. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. She literally wrote this Scum villain when she was in high school.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
So here we are.
Maybe she just hated a certain secretary in her life.
Yeah, maybe it's funny.
So we also like to thank our student tier, which is our top tier of our Patreon. You guys already know this, so we're going to get right into it. Thank you, Owl.
Thank you, FazeBoy23.
Thank you, Kita.
Thank you, Little Princess Shy. That's a new name.
Yes, I wanted to surprise you. We have a new student to support her.
Yeah. I'm shook. Thank you for joining our top tier.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, George.
And thank you, Rob.
Thank you so much for being our top tier patrons and supporting our podcast and leaving all your wonderful comments. You guys are so awesome.
We love your comments. So make sure you also follow us on Twitter because that's where we repost a lot of smut.
Yep, and that's also how you get alerted to when our YouTube live goes live. Our YouTubes go live.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know that, we usually stream on Tuesdays at like 4:30 PST, 6:30.
6:30 Central Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, around there.
Do we have a quote for today?
All I can think about is him like forcing him to drink the blood. As Lo Bing has said, Shizen, don't spit it out. Even though a heavenly demon's blood is dirty, you won't necessarily die from drinking it.
I just stop at don't spit it out.
Don't spit it out. Just don't spit it out. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye. Oh man, what a great episode.
So funny. So much things happened. Okay, time for patroning.
Thank you guys so much for listening on our YouTube channel. We'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.
See you next week.